ち伏せしやがって。今度は俺が狩られる側ってわけだな。
You know, after last week's episode, the massacre of basically every character that we grew to kind of like, besides Kobeni, she's still alive, basically died, right? Like, and really the main person last week was Himeno, right? I think everybody else, you know, maybe you had some affinity to the guy who was in the fetal position during the hotel arc or whatever, but otherwise, like, you know, it was that guy. Himeno, those are the two that really died. And then you had everybody else that died was insignificant. They had no screen time. The only other one that we really cared about was Makima, but she's okay, right? She's a demon, she's a devil, she's I don't even know. She's something, but regardless, she's still here, she's still alive and kicking. So I was very interested to know on like, okay, well, what are they going to do this week? Like, how are they going to just come back from that? How are they going to continue the story? And the reality to that is just keep moving on, which is exactly what ends up like happening in life, right? The good thing is we know that Aki is completely okay. It starts with him and Power. It starts with Denji and Power in the hospital room with Aki. Aki's totally fine. So I'm going to touch on everything that occurred during this episode. Well, not everything. I'm going to touch on most things that happened this episode. But there is one main thing that I really want to hyper focus on that made this episode something for me. That made this episode really, really click for me. And that specific something this episode is Denji's humanity. And I think that if I were to take anything away from this episode, like the most important thing that I got, the most characteristic that, you know, the thing that was introduced was Denji coming to terms with his humanity or lack of humanity morality, right? Like, he spends a very hyper-focused moment, right? And really he dug deep into himself, really, you know, kind of really soul-searching for a moment of why didn't I feel anything when Himeno died? You know, she was the first friend that I had. You know, she was the first person who reached out. I shared, you know, even though he didn't go all the way, he still he shared a really intimate moment with her, and he didn't feel anything when she died. He's like, yeah, it sucks that she's gone, but I don't really feel anything. Then he started to think of like, well, would I feel anything if Aki died or Power died or Makima died? And he comes to terms with himself of like, the only thing that's ever affected him was Pochita. And it's because of this close bond that he had with somebody who, or something that was with him when nothing else was in the world. And he realizes himself, right? He comes out of this moment, you know, laughing and just saying, you know, F it, I'm not going to think too hard about it. You know, no sense in stressing about something you can't change. But that moment of morality and humanity that he had, he was even saying, like, did I lose more than just an organ? Did I actually lose my ability to care, my human heart? And I just thought that was a really, really powerful moment in storytelling. Now, albeit all erased immediately with him saying, F it, I don't care. You know, but that was one moment that I really wanted just to really hone in on, because I was like, wow, that's cool that they did that. To me, you know, as a viewer, somebody, like, I get a kick out of seeing moments of humanity like that in an anime. Especially an anime like this, which is like off the walls, batshit crazy. Like, I really enjoy seeing that. So for me, that was a moment to where I was like, okay, that was cool. You know, that was cool. The rest of the episode, you can really sum up as this. You know, and I want to know what you guys' thoughts are, by the way, on Denji's humanity. Maybe I focused too much on that specific thing, but for me, that's what stood out to me this episode the most. The rest of the episode, we can sum it up as this. Denji and Power, they're weak. You know, Power's only living up to her name. Makima assigns them a new person. This new person, I don't think I wrote down his name, but he's the number one devil hunter of Division 1. And his name specifically is Kishibe. And he is the most powerful devil hunter. I don't know if that's self-proclaimed or not, but essentially he's the most powerful Devil Hunter, he's the one we saw previously when Makima had a flashback saying, like, there's two type of people here. People who want revenge and people who are batshit crazy. The people who are batshit crazy are the ones that the devils themselves are afraid of. He begins training Power and Denji. They fail at every which way. Denji dies a bunch of times. We get to see him lose his stuff. Power brings him back by hitting him nonstop. Then we transition into the Aki stuff. Aki found out who was still alive. I think he met Himeno's sister. And Himeno's sister comes and drops off a bunch of different letters that she had been sending her family while she was out here. And comes to find, basically Aki is just coming to the realization that Himeno really loved him. And that is something that's really sucks to realize after somebody is gone. And of course, it's like, well, she sacrificed herself for you, buddy. But that's not maybe something that's top of mind. He may just think that, oh, it's a friend, really close, blah, blah, blah. But he's coming to find out that, yeah, she was really in love with him. And I think it's going to be even harder for him. It's going to push his revenge story arc even further. Then the episode ends with him basically trying to find a new partner, a new partner devil, because the devil that he was originally contracted with, the little cone or whatever it was, a little fox thing, doesn't want to answer to him anymore because he was a big old asshole, and he's like, I ain't dealing with you no more. So that's kind of where we got left off on. So overall, for me, the rest of the episode, I like the fight with Denji and Power, with them fighting with the Kishibe person. I think that was all pretty cool. Rest of the episode really didn't matter too much to me. It was really that honed in moment with Denji struggling and wrestling with his own humanity and what that meant and his feelings and what that would mean for future people. What that tells me is the anime can now basically introduce, make us love, and take away people at any given notice, since Denji seems to not be affected by characters seemingly just being removed from the picture. Oh, also, I like how he referred to Kobeni as a chicken. So those are my thoughts this episode. Really liked it overall. What I liked about it may not be what you liked about it, but let me know what you guys thought. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this episode down in the comments below, as always. Thank you guys for watching this review piece on this one this week. I think 9 out of 10. I think it was a solid episode. Really loved that moment. That cascaded it, catapulted it to the top of the episodes I like more. So that's my thoughts. All right. See you guys later. Peace out, my friends.